Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be talking about whether or not you should help a narcissist when they ask you for help. And the reason that we're going to be answering this question today is because we got it from the comment section down below. I'll put it up on the screen, and I think this question is really good because I can say that I can personally relate to this, where the person that you are communicating with all of a sudden seems to need help in a moment where you've decided to step away, or at least this is what's true for me. Whenever I decided to step away from my relationship, all of a sudden there was some emergency that they needed help with, and then you get trapped into the spot of you and me being such kind and loving people, and we want to be a helper and kind people, and we want to give ourselves to other people, and wanting to be helpful, we get triggered into then helping these people. So then we run into the situation of whether or not we should help these people. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into that question in today's video. Real quick before we get started, I just want to say thanks to everybody new that's been subscribing, and I want to say thanks to everybody that's been subscribing on the Patreon. As you know, I want to do this channel full time, and the more Patreon supporters we get, the sooner I will be able to do this full time, so I don't have to drive Uber anymore. So if you want to support me, click the link in the description to sign up, and I'll send you a free wristband. So with that being said, let's get forward into that. So whether or not you should help the narcissist that's in your life, or the person that's asking for your help, is going to come down to self-regulation of whether or not it is worth it to you, and if it is going to help you the most in your process of growth and development. And the only real way of knowing this is by following your happiness. What you're really dealing with here, in my opinion, gotta turn that off, right? What you're really dealing with, in my opinion, is this authenticity with yourself that is in your life. Because I can say, at least for me, when I was in a similar situation, I wanted to be so helpful that there were times after maybe I was hurt or going through a situation where I did not feel like it was an authentic expression of myself to go and help out the person, the girl that was asking me for help at that time. And me being who I was at that time, I actually knew it was wrong for me to go and help that person, but I was still so steeped in the need and desire to be seen as helpful by her, and relying on her recognition of me, and you know, still withdrawing from all the love bonding chemicals and all that stuff going on in my brain, that I would still go out and help this person in those moments of help. And I can think of a couple other examples where I knew things were absolutely extreme and not true. I can think of one time when I was hanging out with my friends, and not this girl, and she told me she was having this crazy emergency, right? And she couldn't tell me what it was, and it was the worst emergency ever, and I had to go help her. And I show up, and I leave my friends, and I go show up to help her. And in the process of helping her, as I showed up, what she needed help with was that her car key got stuck in the ignition. Now everybody knows all you have to do is, you know, wiggle the steering wheel a little bit and the key comes loose. But this type of stuff, even though I knew I shouldn't have gone to help, and I was proven right that it was nothing at all in that situation, I still went and did it. And I was being inauthentic to myself. So really, I just kept continuing the behaviors of the relationship when I didn't need to keep on doing that. And because I was doing that, because I kept going back into those behaviors, it actually stopped me from my personal growth for a very long time, because I continued to do this pattern over and over and over for a repeated number of months, maybe like over a year, or maybe even a couple of years of just continuously going through these repeated behaviors of being asked for help and then going out and helping when I didn't need to go out and give any help at all. And I knew it wasn't authentic to myself, because I knew that I shouldn't have been doing that, because I knew, again, that my happiest, healthiest way of moving forward in life was stepping away from that relationship totally and completely and just letting it fade out into the background. Yet I was still willing to do that. So I encourage you, actually, if you're in the same situation, to try to understand why you feel the need to help when maybe it's not actually right for you to help. One of the amazing things that I read from this book, it was called When I Say No, I Feel Guilty. And it's an absolutely incredible book. I'll put a link for it in the description down below. It's a book on assertiveness training by an assertiveness coach, and it talks about standing up for who you are and sticking through to it. And one of the keys that he talks about, one of the pillars that he talks about is a key to assertiveness, is you making up your own decision whether or not it is your responsibility to find a solution to somebody else's problem. And the truth is that majority of the time it's not. Maybe there are times, for example, if there's kids involved or other type of situations, that you could take responsibility for somebody else's issues, but most of the time it's not going to. And in addition, put yourself into the shoes of the other person that's asking you for help. If you think about the situation that I just told you, where this girl was calling me, asking me to go help her, so I can wiggle the key out of her ignition, which is so easy. All she was really doing was she was desperately craving some sort of certainty and security from me, because I was really trying to leave the relationship at that time. And if she could get that security from me and that certainty, by getting me to go there, it would help, fix her emotional need. But that didn't help me grow as a person at all. See, that was her own insecurity, and that was her own issue, and that was not something that I wasn't really meant to deal with. That's her own personal growth journey that she has to go on, and had nothing to do with me. Yet months went by of this type of continuous, repeated behavior, and it all happened really because I kept allowing myself to fall for that behavior as an inauthentic expression of myself. Now, there's one type of situation that I do want to bring up to your attention. See, that situation story that I told you previously about the car key, that's a simple little, I guess you could say physical help that I was being asked to do. Then there's a more complicated type of help that they may ask for your help with, and that would be when they ask you for help in improving themselves as people. And this is a very dangerous one for you to get involved with, because then if they are coming to you and they're saying, I want to be a better person, I know I have done these wrong things, I know that I have messed up, and from now on I am going to be a better person, and I'm not going to do those things. I am asking for your help in the process of personal growth so that I can do that. This is a very dangerous situation for you to get in, because if you are not fully aware of their authenticity behind their statement, you cannot really judge whether or not they are being genuine with what they are telling you. And I can think of two different examples with two different outcomes. I would say 95% of situations, let's be honest, nothing's going to change. These people are going to tell you that they're going to change, but they're really not. And then they're just going to fall back into the normal behaviors, because that behavior enabled you to stay and stick around. And then you keep going through the same cycle of the devaluing, of the love bombing, of devaluing, and then, leaving back and forth, and it just gets crazy and messy. However, there is one situation with one person that I know where she actually watched some of these videos that I made, and she called me up apologizing. These videos weren't even about her. She wasn't who I was thinking of, but she called me up and she apologized because she thought I was talking about her. Now, if the shoe fits, I understand. Maybe she felt like she needed to call me, and I understand that, and I appreciated that. But then she called me, and I remembered a few years prior, she told me she was actually going to make a change and trying to grow as a person and become, I guess you could say, I don't like to use the word better because I don't think that's what I'm trying to say, but she was trying to just grow as a person. And she started reading books, she started going to therapy, she started going to counseling, she started doing literally everything and actually changing as a person. And she When she spoke, she said it with such genuine authenticity that I knew she was being honest about her desire to improve herself. But guess what? She didn't need my help to do that. She did that all on her own. She spent the time reading the books. She didn't need my guidance. She figured out how to do it all on her own. Because really, it's not that hard to grow as a person. I mean, if you think about it, what does it come down to? Having an interest in becoming the best version of yourself possible, or expressing, what I want to really focus in is expressing the most true version of yourself and learning how to do that. And people who are focused on doing that don't need anybody else to guide them, to tell them to do that. Because, as you know, if you're watching this video, I bet you're watching it not because anybody else told you to. Unless they shared it with you because they thought it would be helpful, but they didn't share this to you to tell you to be a better person, did they? No. You're watching this because you have your own desire to express the most true version of yourself in this life. And that's why you're watching this, out of your own will, out of your own free choice. And if that other person is coming to you asking for you to help them grow as a person, that's really not going to help. There's no need to ask for help in that if it is a genuine desire. You might be able to point someone in the right direction, but they have to pick up for themselves and they have to put in the work. You can't do it for them. One of the greatest things that I can think about is an analogy in the fitness space. It's like, it doesn't matter how much somebody tells you, for example, if they want to lose weight, you can't lose weight for somebody else. You can only lose weight for yourself. Same thing. You can't help somebody else grow. You can only help yourself grow. So if somebody comes at you and they say, hey, I need you to lose weight for me, there's no way of doing that, is there? So with that being said, let's wrap this video up real quick. Most commonly, if somebody's going to ask you for help, they're probably just trying to get you in their life again so they can fulfill one of their emotional needs. And that's just the truth. And if you are going to help them or not is all up to you, looking internally at yourself and deciding whether or not that is going to be the best thing for you to do. I can say for myself, majority of the time it was not. There were some rare exceptions where I felt, yeah, I did want to help. But most of the time I thought it was an inauthentic expression of myself. Second, and this one is the tricky one, if they come at you and they say, I need you to help me to grow as a person, just remember, you can't lose weight for anybody else. You can point them in the right direction, but they have to do the work for themselves. And there's nothing you can do about that. So that does it for this video. If you like this type of content, hit subscribe. If you want to support me as a creator, click the link in the description down below to sign up for the Patreon, and I'll send you a free wristband along with it. Thanks so much. See you on the next one.